is day 14 of the Radio Free Skaro Fluid Links Advent Calendar. This question comes in from Dan on the Blue Sky. Regarding the first Doctor Who story you ever saw, how responsible is that story for your being a fan today? Also, what classic story might have caused you to never watch Doctor Who again, had that one been your first? Whoo.
I mean, this is a gimme for both for me. Robot, which I loved, everything about Doctor Who, goofy nonsense and bad effects, it's all there, and it's funny and it's witty. And then the Sensorites is the easy go-to, but that would definitely have stopped me if it was my first. I would have never watched again.
Oh.
Where's Gate 2? Because it just baffled or Ghostlight. There's another one that I would just, if that was my first one, I'd be like, this is dumb. I'm not watching this.
You would have been like, what, 16, 17? No, 18. 18 when Ghostlight came out. So you would have been.
Like that. And I would have seen it a couple of years after that, probably when I was 20, maybe.
Oh, yeah, you would have been 20.
By the time I got here.
Yeah. You would have been jaded and like set in your ways already when it comes to your television watching. So like, good luck ever.
Well, was that 89? Then I've been 18. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Robot. Well, Chris, what was your first story? I know you said it on this podcast, but
nope, I don't remember.
No, either do I. I don't remember what my first story was.
Because I'd watch bits and pieces with my dad, and I couldn't tell you what the first bit or piece was.
Yeah. Well, I know my first memory. I've said it on this podcast before, but for new listeners, I was at my friend's after school, playing with Star Wars for years, about to go leave home. I'm just getting ready, and he turns on the TV, and it just happens to be the show called Doctor Who. I happen to just turn my head at that exact moment and going, oh, what show's this? It was literally Tom Baker walking across from one side of the console to the other. Oh, it's Doctor Who. It was like relatively new at the time. I do not know what episode it's from. There's a lot of episodes that had Tom Baker walking from one side of the console to the other.
Most of them. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, I'm guessing it was probably something in season 13, because then by that point I had sort of like tried to find out where the show was that for some reason entranced me. And I remember like watching the tail end of like many episodes after doing my homework. So I only ever saw like the last 5 minutes of Deadly Assassin, the last 5 minutes of The Green Death, the last 5 minutes of Underworld Part 1, that sort of thing. So you're right. I'm like you, Chris. I don't have a first episode.
No.
Weird.
I mean, obviously we do. We just can't remember what the heck it is. And as far as the second part of that goes, what might stop you? Part of me just wants to stick with the answer of, every story is somebody's first and somebody's favorite.
That's true.
And if it was Twin Dilemma or The Sensorites or Underworld or anything with Planet of the Spiders, anything with not necessarily the greatest production value. I mean, there's really no shortage to pick from. There's a lot of examples.
But a lot to scare you
at the end of the day, we still love the damn show because of or in spite of or whatever, all those foibles.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say, I swear, maybe I'm conflating these two things or mixing them up in my head because it's decades ago, but I swear I read a Pertwee story, and it wasn't Target, it was the other one. It's not Vintage, it's a similar... Pinnacle, that's what it was.
Yeah, Pinnacle one, yeah.
And I think it might have been Invasion. Is Invasion of the Dinosaurs the one with the unit spaceship on it?
No, Day of the Daleks is the one with the unit spaceship.
Maybe it must have been Day of the Daleks, and being very confused... Thinking back, not realizing it was just a book called Doctor Who. What the hell does that mean? I definitely remember the Harlan Ellison intro. I swear I read this before I saw the show and never connected it to it for years afterwards.
You made a very good point, Warren, in that I remember being pulled into Doctor Who when I saw that incredibly misleading cover of a space cruiser with a unit on the back, because I was into big space cruisers, be it Star Wars or at the time most likely Battlestar Galactica. I loved the ship.
Yeah, and I just had no context, so it didn't mean anything, and then, except for the white hair thing, which later really confused the hell out of me.
Yeah, but I knew of Doctor Who at that point, and then I noticed that there were books. So honestly, it wasn't a story. It wasn't even a book. It was a misleading cover. I've been lied to. My entire life basically has been derived from an overactive imagination of a novelization cover artist. I should find out who drew that cover, because that person is responsible for a lot when it comes to me. If it would have drawn like an accurate, have gorillas in there and 3 Daleks and one of them was gold and stuff like that.
What the hell is
there
this?
wouldn't be any unit space cruiser on there. I would go, I guess Doctor.
And you finally got one in Sound of Drums, so.
I suppose we did, but not that one. Not that one. I kind of want that cover as a T-shirt now. Yeah. So it would have been that. It would have been that for me. And I don't know, Chris, are you jealous of Warren for having an actual first story that he sat down and watched in like May of 1983? No.
No, not at all.
Okay. He has an origin story.
I don't have that. I don't have a fantastic memory for a lot of things, so it's whatever.
I clearly don't, given several fluid winks we've been doing.
I know, yeah. Warren remembers his first story, but remembers nothing since. Chris and I don't remember our first story and remember everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.